Hi YouTube, it's Angie. I am Angie. I'm a compulsive gambler, and I am just wanting to update you. It has been 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 3 days since I left Vanguard for gambling, and I just wanted to update how different and changed my life really is. When I went to treatment for gambling, I knew that leaving I would not be a gambler anymore, or do any substances, but I didn't know how much it would change my life. Every day it seems like life's getting better, and I didn't realize how much my addiction affected all areas of my life. My relationship with my kids has grown completely. I made amends with my oldest son, which was really, it was a tough deal there. So I apologized for what I've done wrong. I think a big thing is I have God in my life, and I have faith, and I have hope. Whereas before, I kind of lived life thinking I was in charge. I could change everything, and obviously, I didn't get very far. So, in treatment, one of the things that I learned was the opposite of addiction is connection. And after my divorce, I just kind of isolated myself. I isolated myself, unless, even dating. I didn't want to date someone if they didn't gamble, because that's all I did. That's all I had to do for fun. Silly, I know. I isolated from my family. I blamed everyone but myself for the situation I was in, and it was really, really a tough thing to just be really honest with myself and say, I am right where I'm at because of my choices. Not because of anyone else, not because of my childhood, not because anything, but because of me. And I think that gave me some serenity. Before I went to treatment, I was obsessed with suicide. It was terrible. I thought I'd go to the casino, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be here in 2 days. I might as well. I mean, the thinking I had was just not good. It wasn't good at all. And now I am so thankful that God is my center in every single way. Every decision I make, I think, is a decision that's going to make me go towards recovery or towards relapse. And so far, I'm doing the right thing. And to say that I'll never gamble again, I really, truly do believe that. But I also know that I need to take it one day at a time. So, I went to an AA meeting with my friend who went up. It was my first meeting. It was 2 days after treatment. It was AA, which I don't consider myself an alcoholic. But, addiction is addiction. It doesn't matter what I'm addicted to. It's just an addiction. And he goes up in the front, while they're doing announcements. And he's like, I would just like to say that I was supposed to have lunch with my friend, and she canceled on me and didn't call, and come to find out, she was in treatment, and she checked herself in treatment. And he's like, and I'm so proud, and I want to give her a 30-day medallion. And I could have died. There was probably 50 people there. And I could have killed him. So I went up, I took the medallion, I'm walking back, and they're like, no, you got to talk. I'm like, what do I say? And they're like, how'd you do it? And so I kind of laid it all on the table, everything I was doing, and I realized that as they say, secrets keep us stuck. They do. So I don't have any secrets anymore. I don't know. I can't explain it. You know, like I said, I knew in my life, I knew that I wouldn't gamble, but I didn't realize exactly. When I was in treatment, they put me in a grief group, and I had intended to talk about my grandma that was like a second mom to me that passed away in October. And 2 weeks into it, the chaplain said, Angie, I want you to write a letter. I think that your grief is really your marriage, my failed marriage, my ex-husband. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with my grandma. Let's deal with that, because that's like, I can't do anything about that. And she wanted me to write a letter to him. And I put it off, and at the same time, I was supposed to do my 5th step, and I was like, oh, this is too much. This is too hard. And finally, I locked myself in my room, and I wrote it out. And I was like, I fucking hate you for this. I miss you. I miss my life. I miss my son not having to worry about these adult things, but instead, like, girls and school, and, it just killed me. And so while we were walking with this group, my grief group, to the labyrinth, which is like a circle kind of thing, and you're supposed to grab 3 things on the walk up there that represent that person or whatever you're letting go of. And I grabbed a dead weed. I grabbed a weed that looked like it had poop on it, and I grabbed a dandelion. The dead weed was my childhood that I needed to let go of. The weed with poop on it was my marriage. And the dandelion, although it's still a weed, it was who I am now. A beautiful weed. I can't change my past. I can't change all the shitty things that I've done and that have happened to me. But I can be beautiful. And I can't tell you the last time I ever felt that way. I really can't. I think anybody that's struggling, like, I fully recommend Vanguard. I think it saved my life. And like they say, the opposite of addiction is connection, and I finally have it. The people I've met there are some of my best friends. Actually, right now, I'm going to Detroit Lakes to go see 2 of my treatment buddies that are in a sober living, and I'm going with my roommate from treatment. We are meeting there. So, yes, it's 3.5 hours away, and I'm not a good driver to drive by myself, but I've learned to say yes more than no, because no keeps me isolated. No makes me want to stay home and not do anything. Yes is giving me that connection. And I can truly say everyone I went to treatment with, I loved to pieces. I would do whatever I could for them. And they say 1 in 5 people that leave treatment make it. And I know without a doubt, it's going to be me. One of the big things that I've learned is I need a sponsor, which I have. And she's not like buddy like my friend from treatment was going to be my sponsor, who would be like, oh, this one's like, no, you need to do this. You need to do this. For instance, I was saying to her, okay, I did steps 1 through 5 in treatment. Let's do the 6th step. She's like, whoa, let's just wait. Let's just get you a job. Let's get you accustomed to life. But one thing she said to me that really, really felt really good was, she goes, you know, when people leave treatment, everyone kind of is on this high. But she goes, I really feel like you're going to make it. Like, you're walking the walk. And I am. I have outpatient treatment Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And, which is 2 hours, which is so fantastic because I brought 4 friends from treatment with me. So it's like, it's cute. It's great. And then I go to a GA meeting on Monday, and, well, I just started that one. And then a Friday night GA, which I love. But in order for me to stay gamble free, I have to make sure that I have connection. And that's what I'm doing. So, you know, I'll go in, because I kept a journal. I can't do it right now because I'm driving, but I kept a journal while I was in treatment, because when I went on YouTube to see about what treatment was like nothing said anything. And I was scared. The unknown. Like, what is it going to be like? Is it like, I mean, I even looked up AA treatment to say, is this what it's like? Shit, I don't know. But I kept a journal, and basically it's like, okay, day 1, I was in detox. Day 3, I wanted to go home. Day 4 or day 5 was Easter, and I was like, I need to be home with my kids. I need to not be here. I was pissed off that I was here. I was like, this is not where I need to be. I need to go home. And I cried, and I was just like, I should be with my boys. But I didn't, obviously. And someone said to me, they go, Angie, you know, if you go to treatment right now, well, you're at treatment right now. If you leave and if you have to come back 3 times, whatever, I'm sure, like, right now you have support, but I don't know how supportive they're going to be if you just keep leaving. And that hit me, because the one thing I really want is I want to make my family proud. I want to make myself proud. And I did. I really did. Every assignment I had, and no matter how hard it was, which I remember I had to do my history on gambling and write down, you know, when did it start? You think that it started when I was going through my divorce, and that's when I started losing all this crazy money, but that's not when it started. What started was probably when I was little, and I used to play cards with my grandma, whether it was Monopoly or whatever, and we always played for quarters or something. It was never just for fun. And I remember feeling like a big shot. Like, everyone used to say to me, oh, you're lucky just like your grandma. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I'm like my grandma. But come to find out, my grandma wasn't very lucky. But that gave me that first feeling of belonging. And that was the first part of when I really truly kind of, I guess, started my gambling career. But I had to write down what age I was, what I gambled, how much I gambled, and the consequences. And it's on this big whiteboard in front of everyone to see, which I think there's like 18 people at the time. And I bawled. I didn't want to do it. I think I even hid in the bathroom. I almost locked myself in the bathroom. I was just bawling through it. I couldn't even barely talk. And normally the counselors are pretty strict and hard on people, like, well, what else did you do? What your consequences, blah, blah, blah. But they were kind of easy on me on some things because I was such a mess. And the assignments got harder and harder and harder, but it's funny because no matter how hard they got, each time I cried a little less. And by the last time, my last assignment, I don't think I cried at all. They say that guilt is healthy. Guilt is I've done something wrong. Shame is guilt is I've done something bad. Shame is I am bad. And I've lived in shame for way, way, way too long. And shame has, I don't know. They also had family group there, and that was probably life-changing as well. My medium son went, and my dad came, and it was really like kind of raw. It was like a counselor, and poor Logan thought that there would be like 4 people, and there's like 40, and he's like not a very big talker, like feelings wise. And they asked my dad, how has Angie's addiction affected you? And I got to sit and listen. I was kind of nervous because my dad's like, well, can I say anything? I was like, no, fuck no, you can't say anything. What is he going to say? No, it's just about gambling, Dad. But what he said changed a lot of me. He said, I'm sorry I didn't protect you when you were little, which I've never really heard. He said, I'm sorry I didn't believe you about these abusive relationships. And he goes, I've watched her go from bad relationship, abusive relationship to the next. And I wish she would just know that she's my little girl of worth. And every single person in that 40 group was crying. Maybe not Logan, but everyone. The counselors were, and I don't know if this is skipping my sound because I'm getting off the highway. But from that moment on, I realized that I have gone from relationship to relationship to relationship, all looking to find that fatherly love that no man can give me. I'm not their daughter, so they can't possibly give it to me, but that's what I wanted. And I put unfair things on them to assume that they could give that to me. And from that second on, I felt like a piece of the puzzle that I needed had been found. My desire to date, to feel worth in men, just diminished. I don't have any desire right now to date. This is the time where I'm working on myself. And, hearing from my son, which was really tough, how my addiction affected him. And he was talking about, not having gas, and, there being disconnection letters on the door, and, neglect. And that neglect was probably the hardest thing, because the one thing I felt like I've done right is be a mom. But that kind of threw me off a little bit. And I realized he's right. He's right. When I wasn't gambling, I was preoccupied with gambling. I was wondering how I'm going to get my next money to go gambling. I spent so many freaking hours in a casino just trying to escape the feelings. I would do anything, any possible thing, any alcohol, any drugs, anything to not feel. And then I go to treatment and I'm stuck without those coping mechanisms, with nothing but to feel. And it was the best thing I've ever done. I can't even explain it. I can't explain how good I feel. I wish I would have done this so much sooner, but I didn't. I did it now, and I believe God placed each one of those people in my life to play a part. And I feel really good, and I just want, honest to God, if anybody is struggling with any addiction, there's help. And message me. Thank you all for your messages on my YouTube. I think private messages. I don't know. I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to everybody. I will do a better job of that. And oops. If anybody, why is it so close? If anybody needs my help, I will do whatever I can to help. thank you to my counselors at Vanguard, Melissa, Cheryl, and Ann, for everything they do. It's a really thankless job, and really it's life-saving. Thank you to all my friends and all my family that didn't leave my side. A special shout out to Carolyn, who I love dearly, who helped kind of Logan with, keeping him and helping. Thank you to Logan for helping with Jackson. I couldn't have done this without you, and I really, really owe a lot of my sobriety to you. I asked so many people to help with Jackson, and no one was really willing to give up their life for a month or half a month to do it. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm really thankful. And thank you to my other boys for just loving me, just as is. I wouldn't change anything. I'm not ashamed of my addiction. I'm actually freaking, as terrible as it sounds, I'm kind of thankful, because I have now this amazing group of people that I wouldn't have met if I didn't go to treatment. So, again, there's 4 treatment inpatients in the United States, one of them being Minnesota, Vanguard. I can't tell you enough what it's done. Life is better. It can be so much better. God bless. And I'm hoping to maybe share some of my assignments, which all my assignments I kind of was really raw. And by assignments, meaning I had to share with the whole damn group. But I have an amazing group that just loved me as is. And I'm so thankful to each and every one of them. And I'm so excited tonight to go see my buddies, because they were a big part of it too. So again, I will do a better job of getting back to your messages. So toodles. Life gets better one day at a time.